Hello and welcome to The Plague Kingdom Wars. This is a very familiar title from the developers of Medieval Kingdom Wars, and they've added a whole bunch of new mechanics to it. This video is kindly sponsored by the developers, and if you'd like to check out the game, there is a link in the description. It's just about to come out into early access, and maybe you want to check this out, because the new mechanic that they're introducing in this version of the game is Plague. As you can see right there, infected citizens and units. This counter represents the number of infected citizens and units in any given situation, be it the world map or in any selected city or army. About half of the infected will die without intervention. Infection is quick to spread to adjacent towns and armies, and, as you see here, with the Dead Rising DLC enabled, infected who die turn into undead units, and that is the main thing that I'm actually playing with right here. I have enabled the Dead Rising DLC, so we're going to see what happens with that. Anyway, a brief overview of what I've currently done, because obviously we're not starting from the very beginning here, but that's not really that important, because I can very easily explain exactly what I've done so far. So I picked from a whole slew of huge amounts of different factions. You can play as pretty much anyone you want, and bear in mind, just look at this now. You can play as France, you can play as anyone in this entire territory. Any single faction that you see right here, you will be able to play as them. It's crazy. It's crazy the amount of selection that you get, the amount of options. And you can see here, look at this. These places right here, they are all infected. And the number that you see in that icon, that is how many people are actually infected in that area. So it is going to be kind of interesting to see how this actually works, because the spread of the plague is pretty significant and actually very fast by the looks of things as well, because I haven't been playing for that long. I've been playing for about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, maybe a little bit less than that. But anyway, the point is, I started in the Kingdom of England. You can choose which duke or earl or lord that you start as and who you end up controlling, of course. And then you can do a variety of things. For example, you can select a city. So I'm selecting York at the moment. That is my main city that I have access to right here. And you can see a variety of different stats surrounding it. Now, I have a bunch of chickens here. These chickens will provide food throughout the year. They're pretty good. But they give a very small amount, so it's probably not going to be something that you're going to want to keep for the majority of the time. However, then you're also going to be able to construct things. So you can see here, you need wood and you need stone to be able to create buildings. I've already constructed a whole bunch of things like silver mines and a siege workshop, a barracks, an archery range, and a stables. And that basically all allows me to recruit units. So if I were to go to the recruit unit screen, you can see here quite easily that I would be able to recruit English longbowmen if I wanted to, if I have the required amount of resources up over there to the left. You initially start with a negative food supply, at least I did. Maybe it's going to be different for you, dependent on what kind of faction you select. And otherwise, you can then, well, build a barn. And building a barn unlocks the ability to create chickens. I actually wonder how I would be able to get cows. How do I get cows? I'm not entirely sure just yet. Maybe I need to get some more barns or something like that. But yes, otherwise, apart from the fact that you can do that, you can actually also do an upgrade itself. You can do an upgrade itself to a particular village. I don't know. It doesn't look as though you can actually upgrade cities, as you can see here, but you can see that there are a wide variety of different options that you can select to try and stem the tide of infection. And you can see that the Scottish are currently having a pretty big problem in Aberdeen. I actually already defeated one army of the Scots coming down from Glasgow, and they attempted to take one of my villages, which I was not too pleased about that, I gotta say. I was not too pleased about that. And yeah, so hopefully we're going to be able to do quite well here. Now, what you can also do is you can recruit units, and you have to select which ones you want to recruit from. So, for example, I'm recruiting from York here, and I'm going to be getting some more of these mounted skirmishers. They seem pretty fun. They are quite good in a field battle, but they're not so good. I would assume that they're not going to be so good in a siege. But of course, we're not really going to be doing a siege right now. Well, we might actually. We might. So it really depends. You can also transfer units between army and town nearby. So if I wanted to, I could do this, and then you just select the units that you want to swap. You can even take some chickens if you want to, because they generate food for armies during battles. And that's the exact thing that you've got to think about with Kingdom Wars in general. They have two different states. The state of being on the world map, which is what we are right now. I'm actually going to let the game start running again. And the state where we actually can enter into our town, and we can do a variety of things in real time. So that's the main sort of mechanic that you're going to be dealing with most of the time in Kingdom Wars. And that's the reason why you have to be very careful about what you have in your army, because of course I'm running around with pretty much just a pure combat army. This is mainly due to the fact that I don't want to be preyed upon by any armies in the area, and I'd like to try and just have a really stable defense, and that's pretty much it. But if I wanted to go on the attack and I wanted to do something like, for example, take Edinburgh, I could probably do that quite easily because it's a small village. But if I wanted to do more of an extended siege, like, for example, against Glasgow, I'd probably need to bring some food with me, I'd need to bring some siege equipment with me, and so on and so forth. So that's definitely something to bear in mind. Otherwise, we have Newcastle here, and we're going to have to do something to stem the spread of the infection. So we are going to cull the animals. Don't really want to do that, but we are going to cull the animals, and we'll see how that goes. What about Banishing Infected? Ooh, city happiness will drop to the lowest possible level. Let's banish the infected. There we go. Okay, so we banished them, and well, we already have only +2 contentment, which is really bad, by the way. That is super, super bad. But I guess if that's how it has to be, then that's how it has to be. I'm actually going to lower the tax rate a little bit here so that we can gain more happiness faster. And you can see here that the tax rate really doesn't give me that much. I don't know whether you noticed my positive money situation dwindling just by a little bit, because you can see here that if I increase the tax rate back up to 30%, it's 209. Personally, I don't really mind losing about, what, 20 silver per season, because that's how the game runs. The game runs in seasons. So every single time a season ticks by, that is when you gain resources. Now, you may be wondering, what is this thing up in the top left here? Well, this is a timer, a duration that you will be able to spend inside one of your fiefs. So, for example, if I wanted to go into York here and do some real-time constructing, then I would be able to do that. And that would then mean that the time on the world map would not pass. At least that's what I've understood from the tutorial that I went through. And hopefully that is indeed correct. Because if it's not, then I apologize, and then you can disregard what I just said about that. But in my opinion, that's what it's all about. But they don't want you staying in the town for the entire time. They don't want you to stay in the town basically doing pretty much nothing. You know, just kind of staying in there for the whole duration of the game and pretty much just building up your town and becoming one of the strongest people in the world. You can quite easily do that, I think, in previous iterations of Kingdom Wars. But in this, they do have a duration on there, so they're preventing you from kind of exploiting things a little bit. Now you can see here that we're actually being attacked by someone from France. So, shall we attack? I think we shall. So let's see if we can actually do that. Oh yeah, I need to actually start attacking. There we go. All right, so we can pretty much just auto-resolve and win this pretty easily. But I'd actually like to show you some of the fighting. So we're going to go into an actual battle here, and we'll see how we do. And usually I'm not very good. This is just a disclaimer. I'm not very good at fighting in battles in Kingdom Wars. I am much better at the whole management aspect of the game, and I suppose that's the beauty of games like this. You have a choice about what you want to do. You can do the auto-resolve because obviously, because of my management of my army, I have constructed a pretty significantly powerful one that can pretty much just murder anything that it comes across. But as it stands, obviously, I'd like to show you the battle, so that's why we're heading in here. Alright, so here we go. This is the battle screen, and we have the opportunity to now move around and do whatever it is we want to do. Now, bear in mind that you are going to have a couple of resources that you get to use in the battle. I actually wonder, I can actually pause as well. Look at that, I can actually pause. So, for example, what I can do now is I can actually build some things. So I can build a lumber mill if I want to do that. I mean, I don't really see the necessity for me to do that at the moment, but you can also do other things like building a barracks and things, and that will allow you to actually train troops in real time. So obviously, if you're not familiar with Kingdom Wars beforehand, that is basically how it works. If you have a suitable amount of resources on the world map, and then you take that into an actual fight, then you're going to have a pretty nice time of things. Okay, so let me actually just have a look and see. That's where our village is over there. You can kind of see a little bit of the overview here, pretty much. And yeah, let's actually just go, shall we? Let's just go. So what do we have here? A bunch of English mace men. Ah, very good. Okay, so where am I actually going, by the way? I think that the enemy is over in this direction. I wonder whether I can even see them, to be honest, because here we go. There they are. There they are. All right. Let's take them over in this direction. As you can see, it kind of gives you an idea as to where all of your people are going to be placing themselves, and they will all make their way over, and hopefully you're going to then be able to utilize some tactics. Obviously, I don't really have that many tactics in a brute force army at the moment. I basically just have some cavalry and some infantry. Ooh, here we go. Oh, they're actually coming in. They're actually coming in. I did not realize that they were going to be attacking us straight away, but here we go. Let's just send in our cavalry and see what we can do, because I think personally we should do quite well here. Gonna just deselect them and we'll see. You know what? I'm gonna have a look at the cinematic camera. Look at that. That is looking very cool. Oh, they're coming in. They're coming in with the siege. For some reason, I don't know why they would come in with the siege. That does not seem to be that useful, personally. I would probably advise against bringing in those siege engines here. That's probably not going to work out too well for them. Do I have any other units, by the way, that I've missed? Oh, yes, I do. I have a bunch. Let's tell them to charge in. There we go. Go and charge in, fellows. But yeah, as I've said before, what you can do is you can try to take as many resources that you like into a battle, and then you can build things in real time, like I've said before. And that basically saves you a bunch of time on the world map itself. So it basically allows you to pretty much kind of make more progress in these instanced battles and in the instanced building phase as well than you would otherwise have been able to, which is pretty cool in my opinion. Okay, so we're actually getting shot by these guys, so I'd like to actually attack them. I thought they would actually attack by themselves, but no. I do need to tell them to do that stuff. Yes, there we go. Okay, let's just tell them to go and attack. Thank you very much. Kill them all, sirs. Very good. Yeah, we're taking quite a bit of damage from these from the enemy here, but that is absolutely fine. It's not a big deal. It is literally just a demonstration of what the battles are like, and just look at how many. I really like. That's the one thing that I really like about the battles in Kingdom Wars, they have really great, I don't know whether to call it damage modeling really, but they have really great representation of the amount of bodies that you're going to see as a result of the devastation that is wrought here. So it's pretty cool in my opinion. Oh, they have some ballistas? Are you serious? That's not very nice of you. Yeah, well, we're going to have to attack them as well, so let me actually just queue up a couple of attacks here. There we go. Now they can all just run around. Now, your units are going to gain levels. They will gain levels, and eventually they will be able to gain certain skills as well. So, for example, when a unit gets to level 5, they will automatically heal over time. That does happen anyway, but a much more lengthy process, shall we say. So, yes, it's pretty cool, in my opinion, that they do have the leveling system as well. But this is basically the gist of how real-time battles work in the Plague Kingdom Wars as well. But here's the thing, I haven't run into any infected armies yet, because of course I haven't really been in a position like that yet, which is going to be very exciting in my opinion. Being able to
Get to it, boys.
fight against the zombies, I don't even know how that's going to go, to be honest. But I will be very intrigued to find out. Hopefully I'll be able to show you in this video as well. And here we go. The way that you capture things in Kingdom Wars is basically moving towards a flag and moving as many people as you possibly can towards that flag to increase the chances of you, well, increasing the speed, shall we say, that you are capturing it. And then once it is done, you should be fine to... There we go. There we go. That's the victory. 200 food, 150 wood, and 300 silver for our victory, which is pretty cool. And the enemy army has been defeated. And now we will go back to the campaign map. And yeah, so that's basically how it goes. Now, I'm hopeful that what I'll be able to do is try to get my army back up and running, because of course they are kind of injured at the moment, and I should be able to recruit a couple of extra people as well if they have been taken down or something like that. Oh yeah, I should also show you the research tree too. So this is the research tree, and this all has a function. There are huge amounts of different things that you can unlock here. And I'm actually unsure. What should I try to craft this? What is this? Tax assessment slightly increases tax revenues. Let's do that. I love economy stuff, okay? So anytime I'm playing a grand strategy or any kind of strategy game, really, I like to play much more focused on economy because I love having a good amount of a particular resource. It's just so much more fun, in my opinion. Okay, so let's have a look here. Slows discontent, sure. Okay, let's do this as well. But that's the thing. Look at this. Now we would be able to actually get some cattle, which I think will be really, really good. So we're actually going to do that. And it does take food, which is a bit problematic, but I think that's okay. Armies are now accompanied by supply carts and travel the world map faster. Sounds good. I think I have enough for it. Yes, I do. Fantastic. And officers trained in locating loot extract greater profit after victories. And we also have a number of other things. Yeah, I can't afford that. Watchtowers would be actually quite fun to get, but I can't afford it right now because I need stone, and I need, I need more stone. So that's kind of useful. Okay, so as you can see, most of my units, actually all of my units, seem to survive, which is actually kind of amazing. I was not expecting that one bit. And now what we're going to do is we're going to banish the infected once again from our village there. It is going to make things a little bit uncomfortable for them, I think. Let's speed up the speed up a little bit, I guess you could say. And yeah, we still have a good contentment level. So I'm not entirely sure what was going on with that, but anyway. Yeah, so as I was saying before, what you can also do is you can upgrade your villages. So for example, look at this. I can upgrade it for a little bit of silver, and then that will increase the amount of building plots that you have available. And I think it also increases the amount of population that you can also have. Yes, it seems like that is indeed the case, because it went from 10 to 15. So you can also have more villagers in your in your little fief there. So I think what I'm going to do is I will build a barn here. And now that I have the opportunity to make cows, I will probably do that. Unfortunately, I don't have enough food to be able to do it at the moment, but it will very, very soon be possible once the taxes tick over, because every single season, as I've said, you are going to gain a tick of all of these resources. So you have to be a bit careful about what you do, because you don't want to have a situation where you are going to run out of a particular resource on the exact season that you need to build something, because each season also has an effect on how much you gain from various buildings. For example, let me see here. Let me see if I can actually find something to give you the example. There we go. Forager hut. Generates moderate amount of food during the summer and fall seasons. You see? But it doesn't do that on the other two. So in spring and winter, it does not generate anything, as far as I can tell. So that is a pretty big deal. That really does mean a huge amount, because that means that in those months, it's going to be really good for the forager to be, protected and active and things like that. But in future, in those other months, not so much, not so much. Okay, so what I'm also going to do is I'm probably going to get a sawmill up and running here. Wood is very important in the game initially, and once you have about 200, I suppose, it's probably not going to be as important, 200 per turn or per season, because then you're just going to continually be able to, do things. And I'd like to get an armorer, actually. I'd like to get an armorer, which is 150 wood, and there's one of the seasons ticking over. So you can see here we get silver generation, we get trade income and all that stuff, and everyone's declaring war on everyone else, which is pretty fantastic. Okay, so Newcastle is once again having a problem. I'm going to have to banish the infected once again. I hope that that is going to help a little bit. We should probably burn corpses as well. I don't know whether there are any corpses in the village at the moment, so not sure whether I really need to do that. Do I need to do anything else, though? We probably want to get a storehouse. I don't have a storehouse here at the moment, so we're going to get a storehouse. That might help out a little bit, at least. And you can also quarantine the city as well. So there are a whole bunch of different things that you can do to try and reduce the spread of the plague. Quarantine isolates a city for several months. Quarantine cities stop all resource production, don't pay taxes, and you can't recruit units or construct buildings. It requires food to organize. Infection will run its course, or if the population is healthy, it will prevent infection entirely. Think about how strong that is. That is super, super strong. So basically all I'm waiting for right now is just for my units to try and rectify themselves. There really isn't any other reason or way that I can restore their HP, as far as I am aware. You just kind of have to wait it out a little bit. So we're just going to recruit some more units from York here, and I would like to recruit something else. What can I actually get? I could... I'd love to get some feudal knights, but I need to unlock those. Maybe I can go to my... Wait a minute. I have a marshal here as well. So basically, marshals are all about showing you what you have available and what the enemies also have available to fight with. So for example, if I wanted to locate the Kingdom of France army here, then I would just click on this, and then it would show me exactly where they are, which is a fantastic feature in my opinion, because let's face it, in grand strategies, it can be a little bit difficult to find your opponent, sometimes it can be, so it's really nice to have something that allows you to do that. This is your little, well, shall we say, log of things that have happened in the past. And then obviously you have the steward as well for the research and things like that. So I'm actually thinking that we would want to go for some additional tactics. Let's see if I can craft that now. There we go. Supply wagons. That's going to be very good. Let's get some of this as well. What about town increases? Yes, town increases could be quite important for us too. Now bear in mind that there are also other research trees. You can see that quite easily here. Look at this. You can now use line formations if you want to, because unlocking that actually does require a little bit of training. And of course there is training available here. Decreases the cost of your militia and hunters. Sure, I can't do that, unfortunately. Common military. Increases the accuracy of your archers and crossbowmen. The power of torque physics allows building of mounted and mobile ballistas. There's a huge amount here. And you can decide exactly what you want to go for, which is crazy good, in my opinion. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to recruit some more units here. Now, bear in mind that I'm not the best at this game by any means, and while I do have fun playing it, I am not doing things in the most efficient way possible. So just bear that in mind, you know. Bear that in mind. Okay, so now we have basically a full army. What I'm going to do is I'm pretty much just going to sacrifice any problem that occurs. I'm pretty much just going to sacrifice. I'm not going to react to any enemies, with the exception of maybe this one. Is that a friendly? It looks like a. It doesn't look like a friendly to me. It looks like a French army. Actually, it might be an Irish army. Yeah, it looks like an Irish army. So we don't really have to worry about them. I don't think. I don't think they're at war against us right now. I hope not, at least. I hope not. So yes. Otherwise, we can now make our way down to Dover, where we will be able to traverse into France. Now, at the moment, it looks as though France is doing pretty well. Oh dear, Bristol's having a bit of an issue. Oh, Exeter. Oh dear. Exeter is not having a good time whatsoever. I actually wonder what is going to happen if they all get infected. That would be really bad, I feel. That would be really, really bad. Okay, well, the cool thing about being able to move on the world map and having the seasons pass is my resources are just going to continue stacking up. I can continue to upgrade my villages, and I will indeed do that. I'm going to upgrade this once again. The cost does increase as you go forward, though, of course, so bear that in mind. Okay, so I'm going to build a barn here, just purely for the fact that I can now recruit cows. Let's get a couple of those. And bear in mind that every single unit, by the way, that you recruit, including cows, can be killed by the opponent. So be a bit aware of that, you know, because if someone tries to attack your village, which has happened to me, and they have actually captured it, because you can capture villages. You can actually capture villages. So, for example, let me see if I can do that here. So basically what you do is you move close, and then you can attack a town, and you can attack this right here. So you can see here, King Philip VI. We can auto-resolve this and pretty easily win, I think. And boom. There you go. So now what we can actually do is we can capture it if we want to. And there you go. So this village is now mine. You see? So now what I can do is I can go into the menu here and I can actually start building something here, or I can, well, do whatever I want with it. But of course, bear in mind, this is going to cause the contentment of the village to be absolutely awful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually make the tax rate literally 0. Should I just give them money? No. Let's not give them money, thank you. No, not at the moment at least. Okay, so now what else would we like to do here? I would actually like to get... Yes, I would like to get a forge if at all possible. So let's see if I can do that. Yep, there we go. Nice. Okay, so now I should be able to build the forge. Yes, there we go. The blacksmith. Fantastic. Yeah, I find it a bit difficult to see which buildings are which. Maybe that's just me. I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, the point is that we do have this. So this is going to be great because this improves basic melee units and it affects melee units trained at the manor, the barracks, and basic cavalry from the stables as well. So that's really, really cool. Now, what I'm going to do... I wonder whether I can create another army. Nah, army limit for this city has been exceeded, which is unfortunate. I would have very much appreciated being able to do another army here, but that just means that what you're going to need to do is capture another town, and then you would probably be able to have some pretty significant armies running around and everything. Okay, so I can recruit some units from here, but as you can see, I can only recruit the most basic because, of course, they don't have those advanced buildings available. So, let me see if... I don't... yeah, I mean, that's the point. I could possibly go over to the most infected areas. I think that might be quite fun, personally. I think that might be quite fun to do so, but it's gonna... That's the thing. It's gonna take a while for the plague to actually do its thing. So that might be a problem. Okay, hello there. I'm gonna attack this army. Oh, should I? Okay. Well, they're attacking me. This is not... You know, they're gonna lose this, I think. Well, apparently they didn't. Apparently they didn't lose it. Okay, well, my army has been crushed, but that is actually not a big deal because I can actually... Oh. Wait a minute. Where is my army now? Oh, no, yeah, I still have 83. Look at that. I still have 83 combat strength. So technically, I should be able to win if I just do this. There you go. Look at that. We actually did gain victory, and I actually thought that that was indeed the case. But apparently they won the first bout, and then we won the second one. I actually thought to myself, oh no, I lost my entire army, but no, thankfully I did not. So yeah, now I'm having a bit of an issue, because I'm going to have to go back to my town in York and see if I can try and rectify things just a little bit. But yeah. That's pretty much all you need to know. Well, I'm sure there are many, many more things that you need to know about the game, but that's pretty much the basics. And yeah, you should definitely check out the game. There is a link in the description. It's entering early access, well, probably today. And yeah, well, at least very soon. And yeah, you should definitely check it out because I think this new plague mechanic is going to be super, super fun to see. And hopefully the undead armies are not going to be too ravenous as I get murdered again. Yes, I wasn't watching, obviously, because I was doing my outro. But anyway, that will be it for this episode. I thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.